Hi, I'm J-Rock.
I'm Dan.
This is episode 7 of the Hook, Riff and Banger podcast for 2026. Today we had a really fun episode. We talked all about Essence Festival with Dan, who is the creator of this festival, who is also in 1,000 bands like Alters and Bruxus and a million more.
Yep.
It's been really fun. We easily could have talked forever, but it has to end somewhere.
Yeah, we spoke about a lot. We spoke about, obviously, all of the bands, Spire and everyone, that Dan's been involved in. The scene in Canberra, and what to look forward to at Essence, which is a really stacked, huge, third iteration festival, which I'll be heading down for.
Yeah, I wish I was going. October 2nd to 4th. It's huge. There's so many bands locally and from all over the country. You should definitely go. It's going to be fucking sick. And I can't be there, so everyone else has to go and enjoy it for me.
In the lead up to that, there's Essence Laboratories, which is a little showcase of maybe what to expect, potentially what to expect. And they'll be running throughout off-season to the festival. So you can get a little slice of a little taste of the festival.
Yeah.
Without going to the festival, or also while going to the festival, preferably.
Do both, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the 18th of September, and you should definitely go to that and to Essence Festival.
It's a good episode. Check it out. Enjoy.
Tension of memory doesn't matter anyway, so you're just kind of in there existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
I
smart thing
don't
to do.
remember what happened in Red Sonja. Yeah, I remember that there were two characters, Arnie and Sonja. And maybe there was like a dragon or a serpent or something. Fuck, that's it. That's all I
haven't even
got.
seen it. That sounds mad. Are we sure this exists, or this was your delirium, or
This movie?
this movie really exists?
Yeah,
okay,
it does. Arnie threatens his kids with it. He's like, if you misbehave, you have to watch this film. I think his kids have grown up now, but when they were growing up, yeah.
It's adult children getting the same threat.
I love that. I want to go home and watch it. There you go. Put it on the list.
Yep, we will.
Yeah.
So Dan, thanks for coming today. We've got a lot to talk about. You're involved in so many ways in, I guess, the music scene, be it all of the bands that you've participated in and work in, and we've got Essence Festival. I would love to start by just getting a bit of a rundown on your journey into what this is now.
Thanks very much for having me. It really does feel like a privilege to be here. I see what I do as being just a very ordinary sort of involvement with the musical underground. So it's kind of slightly surreal and exciting that anyone's sort of paying attention. But I guess I started off as a musician. I've been playing drums since I was 11 years old and started playing in, I guess, sort of death and black metal, doom metal bands, sort of in my probably from my mid-teens really, but by the time I was playing at venues, my late teens. And I'm close to my mid-40s than I'd like to admit now, and I've been playing in extreme metal genres mostly for, I guess, more than half my life. And when you play music for long enough, I guess the organisational and promotional side of that just kind of becomes, well, I suppose in some ways a necessary evil, but I think I've leaned into it a little bit, and I'm quite enjoying that part of the job. I wouldn't say that I'm great at sort of marketing or selling myself at all, but what I would say is that I think there's a lot of fantastic artists in Australia that deserve a platform, and I'm trying to help facilitate that platform to the extent that I can, especially in my little city, Canberra.
You've talked about being involved in so many bands since you were young. What bands are you in currently?
Yeah, someone asked me this morning, and I'm like, I don't really know.
The list?
So I'm a drummer, and as a lot of band members will be aware, drummers are pretty musically polyamorous a lot of the time. I'm here at the Bendigo Hotel as I record this, and tonight on the day of recording, we're playing a show with the Veil, and I'm playing in Bruxist, which is kind of a crusty death metal band. It was supposed to be a sort of crust punk D-beat band, but both me and the key songwriter, Terry Van Oris, are more from metal backgrounds than punk backgrounds, and so just kind of more and more death metal crept in. We've also got Dave Byrne in that band, who's also a lovely guy and should be very well known to certainly Melbourne audiences. I play in Alters, which is another Melbourne band. I like to just describe Alters as a death metal band, and people sort of try and classify Alters as like a dissonant death metal band or a technical death metal band. But the way I see it is that, like, if you listen to those early death metal albums from sort of Morrisound in the early 1990s, all of those albums sounded different and had their own identity, and each one was an experiment. And incidentally, the same thing is true of all of black metal albums from sort of the mid-1990s or, sort of just after that death metal wave. And just kind of like, if you compare De Mistris Dom Satanas to, In the Night Side Eclipse or something, even though they were recorded by the same engineer at the same studio, they're really different sounding albums. And I guess I kind of think, that extreme music should always be pushing the boundaries and trying to seek to do something new. And and by doing so, that doesn't make it like prog or belong to some sort of tiny subgenre or something. So I just think Alters is a death metal band. And I'm really proud to be in Alters. I think it's an excellent band, and I think we've achieved a lot. I actually haven't recorded with Alters yet, but I have toured with them overseas quite a bit. We did 2 North American tours and 1 European tour in 2023-24. I play in a Canberra band called Futility, which is a doom death band. I don't think that Futility is trying to reinvent doom death or anything like that. For me, I think that genre specifically, notwithstanding what I just said about death metal, that sort of music is kind of like the blues. It's about summoning a particular emotional atmosphere, and people can tell a mile off if it's not authentic. And so, that's just me and some mates, I guess, paying tribute to the sort of Peaceville artists that we love from the early 1990s, as well as like some of the Finnish funeral doom and Southern Lord bands, American bands, stuff like that. What haven't I mentioned yet? Jesus. I have my own solo thing, Bleakwood, which is kind of a, I guess, sort of aggro dissonant black metal thing. Like if you like sort of Leviathan's Massive Conspiracy Against All Life, it might be up your alley. That released an album about 10 years ago. I haven't done much with it since, released a single, but I think about it a lot. have a lot of ideas kind of on the go, just kind of, bubbling away there. And I'm in a new Canberra band as well, which will appear for the first time at this year's Essence Festival, which I won't talk about too much at this stage, but I'm pretty excited about. Yeah.
It's huge. And I think there's some that you didn't even mention that you've been involved in, but you were mentioning, I guess, pushing boundaries and paying tribute to certain sound styles. Do you feel that the projects that you're involved in or the bands you're involved in slot into either of those things cleanly or clearly? Or do you think it sort of blends together? Like, What's your intention when you try to perform or write in these bands?
Yeah. It's a good question. And like, sort of in answering your previous question, I kind of had to struggle with that dichotomy. Because like, you're right, even with a band like Alters that I think does push sort of compositional and sonic boundaries in some ways, you can still hear like, there's a Morbid Angel influence, there's a Gorgut influence. Like if you like Morbid Angel and Gorguts, you'll probably like Alters, or at least you'll recognise elements of what you like in Alters. At the same time, I think Alters has its own sound. And maybe Futility, for example, cleaves a little closer to, bands that have or had a particular style. But we're still always trying to just spin it a little bit so it's us and our own voice, and just kind of combine influences in a way that haven't been quite combined before.
I guess that would make it more interesting, more engaging to be part of that.
I think so.
Yeah.
As both a composer and a listener, I believe. And I suppose, like when I think about Bruxist, I mean, like we deliberately set out to just say, we just want to play stuff that sounds like Dysphere or Tragedy or Trap Them or something like that. And then like, as soon as we started trying to do that, we were like, oh, that's not our voice, Like, I mean, we love those bands. But you kind of can't help but put your own musical stamp or signature on what you're doing, I don't think. Or I guess I feel sorry for bands or musicians that don't have kind of a sense of, either intentionally or unintentionally, a sense of who they want to be or where they are. Yeah.
Do you find that you've gravitated towards musicians? Let's say it's a subconscious thing. Have you gravitated towards musicians who are more inclined to be boundary pushing? Because I would say that I've listened to a lot of the music that you've been involved in, and it does stand out to me as a unique take, or there's something, even if it's like a little pepper of uniqueness to it that I haven't heard before. And that's what I like about the projects you're involved in. So that's why I asked the question. The people who you mix with, do you find that they're similarly inclined?
Yeah. I think the answer to that is yes, in probably quite an unambiguous way. And I feel sort of really humbled and grateful about that. The fact that, people like, Terry Van Oris, who's been just such a kind of huge and I think in some ways underrated and unsung influence on Melbourne extreme metal for so long, wanted to work with me, not only in the context of Bruxist, by the way, but we also do an experimental doom thing from time to time called Subterranean Disposition. And he's just he's a really well-rounded musician, but he's also, you can instantly hear that it's Terry. And I think that, I'd like to flatter myself to think that maybe he can hear something in my playing that's like, oh, okay, that's got a particular stamp or style that I like, or that I think will sort of accentuate or put a new spin on my compositions. And that's, I hope, why we're working together. Yeah. And I know, like, when Alters were replacing their old drummer, Alan, who's an extremely skillful drummer and inventive as well. And I should give him a shout out and say he was extremely gracious about, like, how he handed over the sticks. And he was just saying to me, like, anything that you're not sure about how to play on the albums, just let me know and I'll record a video for you. For me, that was kind of a big they were big shoes to fill, and it was complex because on the one hand, I wanted to pay tribute to Alan's inventiveness and creativity and his voice in that musical context. But on the other hand, I also wanted to kind of bring my own musical personality to Alters as well. And I don't know whether I've got that balance right exactly, but it's something that I think about a lot.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we've had three members of the same, well, all members of the same band individually on their own episodes of the podcast.
All right, Lewis has been here as well. I know Brendan has.
Yeah, Brendan has, and
Yeah.
we went and had an episode of Black Sound with Lewis.
Oh, great.
And it's really interesting. I'm so engaged to listening to you speak about Alters and all of your projects because all three of you have had that same passion, the way that you speak about Alters, especially in its current form.
Mm.
So, yeah, beautiful to hear. You're in a number of, I'm locked in.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Gotcha. You're spinning a lot of plates. You're in a lot of incredible projects. You've got Essence Festival. How do you know creatively when you come up with an idea or when something comes to you, which channel you send that through, like which project that goes to?
Yeah. I really love this question. And when you sent me the questions to just have a little bit of a think about, I thought, oh yeah, I know how to answer this one. And what it is that as soon as I start thinking about a project, so I do a little bit of composition as well, like obviously for Bleakwood, but also for other bands that I'm in. So like I'm usually given free rein to compose my drum lines, but I also do a little bit of, I play a bit of guitar and stuff. And what it is that at the outset of thinking about a recording or a project, I identified the DNA of that project. And I'm like, okay, so what this project is about is these emotions, these themes, even these acoustics, these tunings, stuff like that. And so it kind of, even before I've written a single note, I kind of have in my head an idea about, quite a strong idea, I would say, about what it's supposed to be, like what the final product will be. Like it's a bit cloudy, but kind of like a germ or a seed. And so from there, so essentially I have a template in my head of where the composition will go. It's like a riverbed. And then, the composition itself is the water moving through the riverbed. So I'm never confused about what composition goes with what project. Yeah. The other thing is that I often write lyrics first. And so if I'm writing a set of lyrics, again, it ties into kind of what, that set of themes that I was describing a moment ago. And so like, if it's something that's a little bit more, I guess, political or sort of direct, then it's probably going to be a Bruxist lyric. And then once I got that set of lyrics, then I'm like, okay, well, that's obviously for that project. And then I write the riffs to fit the lyrics. So yeah, I know that's unusual. A lot of metal musicians, probably all rock idioms, start with the music and then add the lyrics. But yeah.
It's cool. I find it really impressive, like being somebody who's dabbled in music, but maybe struggles to even just get one idea, one project floating. And you're able to do it for multiple things, and as Jess said, multiple spinning plates, and
Yeah.
it's impressive. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, sometimes they take a long time to spin. Like, I mean, the Bleakwood thing, like, I'm a little bit afraid of Bleakwood now because that album that I recorded or released in 2017, Solipsis, that still feels like an album that someone else wrote and made and released. Like, and it came together really quickly as well. Like, some of the riffs were a few years old by the time the album came out, but in terms of like the whole thing just sort of coalescing and then getting recorded and then getting released, that was quite a short period of time. And like the composition and recording itself, like sort of a few weeks, really.
Yeah, wow.
Like scary fast. And so now I'm kind of in this situation where I'm like, unless I can not just produce something that good, but also have that same sort of unimpeded sort of going with the Dow sort of workflow, then I'm not sure how satisfactory that experience will be.
So you said afraid. Is that like you thought you maybe have lightning in a bottle situation with that, or
maybe? Yeah. I mean, I've written enough material for an EP and recorded the drums for it actually, and like I would say that material is, if anything, better than Solipsis. Like in terms of what I want to hear. I mean, what does better mean? Really, it's subjective. But in terms of where I want to take that project, it really makes sense to me. But just in terms of, I guess, the execution and the production and stuff like that, I'm kind of like, it's hard to touch. And I guess the other thing about it is that there's always, one of the things about making that album as quickly as I did is that it didn't interfere with my life that much. Whereas if I'm doing something in kind of a more laborious way, then there are trade-offs and sacrifices, and I have to start saying to people, oh, no, I can't attend that rehearsal, or I don't know, call in sick to work. Or yeah.
Nice, yeah.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, so
the sick leave.
Yeah, well,
I've never actually done that.
For your employers watching.
For any employers watching, we've never done that. But yeah, having so many projects and so many creative ideas and so many things that you're involved with, how do you manage that?
Like, just how is my life not collapsing under its own sort of weight?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Inquiring minds would like to know how to not be so chaotically busy.
Yeah. So I guess part of the answer to that question is that it is. Like, I'm just like constantly exhausted and run off my feet. And that's okay. Like, that's kind of what I signed up for. And I guess I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie in the sense of like I want to keep things moving. I like the satisfaction of seeing something come to fruition. So I'm a bit hooked on that. But the other element about it is just kind of like the magnitude of the expectations that I set myself, which I think are quite reasonable in some ways for a discrete task, which is that I just sort of, I mean, I've been playing a long time and I sort of trust my intuition and I trust my instinct. And I think there's something, I think extreme music, and especially like extreme metal, technical metal, can be a very over-analytical genre. And I think there's something very pure about just saying, okay, well, this was the first or second idea that I tried, and it's good. It's good. Like, stop fucking with it. Like, just, yeah. And, maybe sometime down the line at a live show a couple of years into the future, you played a bit different and the guitarist looks at you funny, but, you know, that's cool. It's just a little Easter egg for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, of the projects that I've just described, the only one that's actually, like, regularly rehearsing is that new Canberra band that I mentioned. I'm going to spill the beans. It's called... And it's... yeah, I think it's a really fearsome project. I'm really looking forward to taking it live. But we rehearse with that weekly because we can. We're all in the same city. Whereas, like, with a lot of stuff, I'm in Canberra, the other guys are in Melbourne, or even a bit more spread out. Like in the case of Spire, I don't know how you even mentioned Spire. So they brought me in to be the live drummer for their 2018 Dark Mofo performance, and that was kind of, I just stuck around ever since. They're all over the place. Like, we've got one guy down here in Victoria, and then 3 guys up in Queensland, and then myself in Canberra. So, like, really it's just like, oh, we've got a gig or something coming off. And they're, like, gigs are special occasions with Spire. We don't play like a local band or something like that. Maybe at one stage they did, but that was before I joined the band. So we're just like, okay, well, let's just do like a run of rehearsals in the city that the gig is, leading up to the gig. So yeah, just do your homework. Just listen to the music a lot. I think, like, if you're thinking about playing the music, it's not quite as good as actually playing the music, but I think it's developing the same sort of pathways and muscle memory, even if you're just kind of, marinating in it.
Yeah, well, lots to unpack in that there. So, new project or new band. What can we expect? Like, what's that up to at the moment? Are you writing? You're rehearsing? You're gonna release any?
Yeah. Gosh, I've probably said too much. It's all
redact. We can redact.
We can redact.
Rewind.
Yeah. No, it's all going to drop at Essence. So
sweet.
Yeah. In this room, maybe. Yeah, we might redact this.
Yeah.
So Dan, can you tell us about the Canberra scene? How is that at the moment?
Canberra's a really interesting place because, on the one hand, there's quite this rarefied sort of fine arts scene there, connected with ANU, where the School of Music is, which, you know, thank God was just recently saved from the depredations of neoliberalism. And then there's also all of the cultural institutions, like, you know, National Gallery and Museum and War Memorial and National Portrait Gallery and what have you. And so there's a lot of thoughtful, talented people with a great artistic eye in Canberra, and people move there from all over Australia to be part of that. But that's I think that's quite inaccessible. Like, for someone from like a DIY background like me, like, you know, I know those people. Like, you meet them at parties, and, you know, they know way more about what they're doing than I know about what I'm doing, and you know, you just kind of go away feeling sort of slightly inferior. And I guess part of what I see my mission as being in Canberra is to try and bring sort of the, let's call it the underground culture to the sort of sniffier part of Canberra's art scene, and also bring, I guess, some of the weirder, more inaccessible stuff to, you know, people who are curious but maybe aren't quite sure how to open that door.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously I'm not David Walsh. I don't have David Walsh's resources, but I am inspired by what he's done in terms of sort of bridging that gap and saying, hey, like, you know, you in the blue jeans, in, you know, who works in an accounting firm, you too can enjoy sort of weird African drumming. And, you know, you who's always spent your life doing really fascinating, cool stuff in the arts world, you too can go to the pub and enjoy, like, you know, a stoner rock gig. Or whatever it might be. And maybe you notice that distinction less in Melbourne, but in Canberra, it's real never the twain shall meet sort of stuff.
Interesting, yeah.
So, for example, we have an experimental music festival in Canberra called Sound Out, which I love. I love going to. The people who perform there are kind of all from, I probably shouldn't say all, but it feels like almost all of them are from an academic background, and there's a lot of people in the audience wearing cardigans. And I'd like to see more folks in patch jackets in that audience. And vice versa. I'd like to see the people in cardigans coming to metal shows as well.
Yeah, sweet.
So, yeah, I think that I think that two camps thing is something that I want to overcome in Canberra. In terms of like gig attendance and stuff like that, we get plenty of gigs, both local gigs and also bands coming through town. I think we're luckier than we have been in a long time in Canberra in that respect.
So you're noticing a shift in, well, actually, are you noticing a shift in attitudes since you moved to Canberra?
Yeah, definitely. And I think partly what it is that promoters have cottoned on to the fact that Canberra's just a great pit stop between Sydney and Melbourne. So just, you know, if you have a band play whatever it might be, a Thursday night in Sydney or Melbourne, and then play the Friday in Canberra and then the Saturday in the other big capital. So and like the turnouts vary. It's a small city. People are afraid of the cold and the rain. It's good. And it's like, I think I like that people they want to engage with art analytically. There's just a lot of smart folks in our city.
Where do you think Essence Festival slots into that?
So I think this is exactly it. So I think there's that missing middle, right? So like, you can come and see something like quite fucked at the National Gallery or something like that, which has huge amounts of Commonwealth money behind it and has thousands and thousands of visitors. And it's challenging art. And like, I think it's great that exists, and I think it's great that it has the public patronage that it does. And then on the other hand, you can go and see like a death metal band, either a local band or a touring band, play at either the Baso or the Potbelly or, you know, maybe one of the other sort of newer venues in town, Descent or Shadows. And maybe there'll be, I don't know, 100 people there if you're lucky. Could be less. I see Essence as, well, the vision is, well, you can judge for yourselves whether I'm succeeding or not, to confer a degree of legitimacy and occasion to that underground scene to kind of bring the tribes together, so to speak.
Cool.
Yeah. You can definitely tell that that's your intention by the lineup. This is the third year.
2026 will be year 3.
Amazing. How, for you, do you go about choosing who plays this festival?
Curation is my favourite bit.
It's a great lineup. They always have been.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. It's the bit that I find easiest, because when you've been involved in the scene for a while, you just get exposed not only to bands, but also people who know about bands as well. And so there's just kind of constantly stuff crossing your desk. And it's either stuff that you're like, oh, wow, like I didn't know they were playing live again. Like last time I saw them was 2008, you know, or it's something that's new, or it's just like a live heavy hitter that you really like and you know a lot of other people really like, and it's like, that's our headliner sort of thing. So I guess I approach it from several different directions. First of all, to expose people to stuff they might not otherwise see, both in terms of like novelty, like new acts, but also in terms of maybe exposing them to genres they wouldn't have otherwise checked out. And again, I think it would be fair and honest of me to pay tribute to Dark Mofo in that respect, as well as also Roadbird Festival in the Netherlands, which I've had the good fortune to attend a couple of times. I like putting some stuff on the bill that I know people are going to enjoy, because at the end of the day, it's a rock and roll show, right? Like people are supposed to walk away from it saying, yeah, like I got the rush. Then I guess I like to put on some artists that I personally really like and I feel are maybe a little underrepresented or underexposed in Canberra. Maybe artists that have kind of looked at Canberra and said, oh, we'd like to play there, but only 30 people will turn up. And we can't make the numbers work, you know. Or that's a lot of driving for 30 people. Which I totally respect. Like, you know, having been on tour internationally myself, it bums you out when you drive for a while and you get to a venue and you're like, oh, the promoter hasn't. Like last night we played to 100 people, but there's only a few people here tonight. So like, yeah. And so I think Essence seeks to overcome that by just basically saying you're going to have a ready-made audience. All pulled together for you.
That's a really big deal. That's really cool.
Yeah. And I think for me, I love festivals like Dark Mofo and Roadburn, and those festivals that cover a broad spectrum of music, all in their own extreme and experimental and heavy way. You just trust it, and you know that getting a ticket, you're just going to have a good time at the rock show. So I think, and definitely based on the broad spectrum of artists that you've got on for this year especially, it is, I mean, if I could go, I'm sad I can't, but it is just that of what you've said. There's a band that, they're travelling from the other side of the country and they are going to play to everyone because everyone's just going to turn up and see everything and have a good time. And I think that's something I really love about the Melbourne scene, is having gigs and festivals and whatever that have this mixed bill and you get to see a little bit of something different in every set, which I think is really cool, to open the minds, also to just keep it interesting and different, and to have extra chances to see all these bands you wouldn't normally get to see.
Yeah. I feel the same way, and one of my favourite shows that I've played with Alters was here in Melbourne, and we played with a sort of underground hip-hop collective.
Was that at the Tote?
Yeah.
I was at that show.
Yeah, Two Birds.
Yeah. Mixed bill. Completely.
It was great. And I mean, that whole bill was great, but I think Two Birds really stood out for me as being A, particularly sort of visceral and exciting in terms of the way they presented themselves, and B, just kind of having the courage to stick out on what was otherwise kind of a heavy bill. I mean, they're heavy in their own way. And yeah, I really sort of respected that. And in fact, I've tried to get them onto the Essence bill a few times. One of them lives overseas now. But I did get Real Name, who was one of the MCs from Two Birds. Real Name's going to do a show this year on the Essence bill, so that's great. Yeah.
That was a great show. And I remember being, confused in a great way of, I don't know that artist, but I like this band, so I'll go. And then, opening my mind so much to, say, genres like hip hop and those crossovers I wouldn't normally know enough to go and say, oh, yeah, I'll go to that gig.
Yeah.
So I remember that gig upstairs at the Tote. It was great.
Yeah.
And just, I can't remember, was Slow Cut on that? Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, Alters and Slow Cut, completely different genres as well, but all in the world of heavy. You've got your very heavy and fast and extreme, and then you've got your very heavy, slow, extreme, and then awesome hip-hop crossover in the middle. Yeah, that was really cool. And lineups like this, I think, if you know one or two bands at Essence, like you're going to get to see 30, 40 others that open your mind to a whole new thing.
Yeah, and we try and keep ticket prices low enough that like you can take the punt. Like you're like, okay, well, I don't know many of the bands on that bill, but I do like the Amenta, you know, and I'll get my wallet out to go and see the Amenta, and that's a worthwhile proposition in its own right. And then you just get like everything else is gravy, you know? Yeah. And you get to experience a whole lot of stuff that you maybe didn't know how much you would enjoy until you saw it, hopefully.
It's a perfect sort of environment to find something new and be familiar with, you know, the things you already know, which is, really cool. Yeah. What can people expect when going to Essence Festival? Like, what does it actually look like?
Yeah, so there's a venue in Canberra called the Baso. We take over the whole venue. It's got quite a big front room and a big back room. It's actually a particularly good live music venue. And even, you know, notwithstanding Melbourne's strength as a live music city, we still have Melbourne bands come to the Baso and say, I wish we had something like this in Melbourne. It's just like big PA in the front room, nice open space, kind of feels a little bit like a hangar or something like that. And then the back room has also quite an impressive PA and I think maybe capacity of 200, 250 people in the back room. And so we just toggle between the two stages. In 2024, we didn't have any breaks at all, but also no clashes. If there's one thing I can't stand as a festival attendee, it's when you want to see two things and you can't be two places at once. But after 2024, we got some feedback where people were like, I wanted to see every band on the bill and I had no time to go and like get dinner. So we've deliberately scheduled in some
little intermissions for dinner breaks.
Oh, that's so considerate. We've all been in that situation where you're like, how do I transport myself to two places at once and eat dinner and drink water?
You try to make it work. It never does perfectly. Always sacrifices.
It's true.
It's refreshing to not have to deal with that, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, probably my biggest sort of bugbear or regret of the festival organiser is just the fact that I can't be just like a witness to the whole festival. Like, you know, I love interacting with the artists and that, but there's definitely an element of just being needed a lot, which is, you know, that's the gig.
So what does your involvement look like on the day then? Like what are you doing? What's making you run around maybe like a headless chook?
There's actually a lot of schmoozing.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's and it's people, I feel a little bit like I didn't do this to be the center of attention or anything like that. Kind of the opposite in a way. I wanted to platform a bunch of other stuff. But as the festival organizer, people just want to come and have a talk to me about the festival and what it means to them and, you know, both artists and punters. And they'll come and ask for stuff and I'll say, I don't know how to fix that, but that stage manager does. Or I'll say, you know, Jess, my operations manager, can you please figure out how to solve this problem? She's a wonderful fixer. Like, and I think she's also, well, either she copes with it better or she's a little bit less kind of schmoozed upon. Yeah. I think she is probably actually genuinely better at handling the interpersonal demands of the gig. But yeah, but I love talking to people anyway. And so, it's my own downfall really. Like, yeah, I want to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to connect with all these people that have come together for this event, but then it's also, is throwing a festival and organising a festival kind of for yourself as well. You've got to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do enjoy the conversation, but also I want to see that band that's playing in the other room.
It's like a do not disturb song. Wear on like chest or something.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Just run around with a radio, be like, I'm needed at the stage. I've got to go. Every band I love is playing.
Yeah. That's sick. Super excited. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've never, like, a promise I can absolutely make to myself and you guys and everyone who's listening is that I will never put a band on the bill that I'm not enthusiastic about myself.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be first and foremost about, like, quality and novelty of what's being presented. And I think if you curate from that perspective, then the audience will sort themselves out.
Yep. Yeah. And that goes back to trusting, building that trust with people that attend the festival, where it will get to the point where people are like, oh, Essence is on, I'm going, I'm getting my ticket.
I'm glad you raised that again, because I should have mentioned that I kind of thought that in 2024, when we first did the festival, like if we had strong branding and a strong lineup, then people would just like turn out in droves.
Mm-hmm.
And we did have strong branding and we did have a strong lineup. And I should give a shout out to Dave Lowen, who's been our graphic designer since day one. And he does beautiful, beautiful work. And he also runs a great screen printing company called Blackbird Yellow Eye. He's based in Tasmania, but he can get your shit to you in double quick time, no matter where you are in the country. And Dave really got that the thing had to have a visual identity.
Yeah. And
we shared a vision for what that should be. And so all of that stuff came together really quickly in the first year. But what you're talking about, I think, is about building that trust and that legitimacy. And I was a bit naive and I just thought, okay, well, all I need to do is put, some really interesting artists and some high-profile artists on the bill and folks will come out. And in the first year, it cost me quite a lot of money to put on the festival. That's not going to make any bones about that. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like a test run. And then I decided to persevere, and actually it wasn't even a hard decision. I was just like, this was so much fun that it was worth the money. So I did it in the second year, and that's when the rubber hit the road in terms of people. I don't know if word got out or by then people trusted the brand or something like that. But yeah, people got it. And so, hopefully we'll keep seeing that sort of return on our effort.
Yeah. Well, every lineup's been pretty stacked so far. Yeah. It's been exciting seeing everybody sharing, because the artwork is its own branding and its own identity. It's been really cool seeing, they're going to be there and they're going to be there, especially all the Melbourne artists. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess this kind of goes back to me being quite involved in the Melbourne scene. And I think it's quite easy for Melbourne people to imagine that they're kind of the cultural centre of Australia. And I think the reason for that is because they are. And I think that there's just some sort of infrastructure or scaffolding or community spirit here, some sort of culture of supporting artists and seeing live music. I don't know what it is, maybe a combination of factors. But it just seems to mean that there's just this endless well of interesting stuff coming out of Melbourne. And because I participate in it, that allows me to be kind of tuned into it. And so I think especially in 2024, like when I look back at the lineup, it's almost like bring Melbourne's underground music scene to Canberra, just like transplant them for a weekend to Canberra.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we did that first one on grand final weekend, and I had Melbourne artists saying to me, "Oh, are there screens where we can watch the footy?" No. I don't know, watch it on your phone or something. So anyway, we don't do it that weekend anymore. Now we do it on well, it's not a public holiday down here, but it's the Labor Day long weekend in most East Coast states. So yeah, first weekend of October.
That's the trade-off with inviting a bunch of Melburnians.
Yeah. Not a problem I was expecting to have to solve.
The footy on the screen.
They'll be using sick leave as well because there's no public
Yeah.
holidays, so for the travel
They'll
around.
be chucking sickies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's worth, if you were a Melbourne person, you could get on the road on Friday morning and see all of the bands, like be in town in time to see all of the bands on Friday night, and then drive home on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think that's a couple of days of annual leave maybe.
It's not too bad.
That's
It's
kind of
definitely worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a road trip, but heck, I'm doing it just this weekend. I drove down yesterday, rehearsed with Bruxus last night, playing tonight, driving home tomorrow. So, yeah, it's an easy road to drive.
Mm.
And it's really close to Sydney as well. So, I think that's actually a great reason for having it in Canberra, because we do have access to both those audiences. I don't see that a Melbourne audience would go to a Sydney festival or vice versa.
It's probably more rare for sure. And this, very unique. And I still haven't been to Canberra, but this is certainly a draw card for me. So I'm really excited for this year.
Yeah, I mean, Canberra's got a shitty reputation, and I think it's quite undeserved, really. I think that, it's kind of quite a suburban and middle class sort of city, but we also have a great bar culture, several good breweries. We've got all the cultural institutions. The food culture punches way above its weight, really good hospo, including a lot of Canberrans who came to Melbourne, sort of earned their stripes and then came back to Canberra. So yeah, it's just a nice place to be, quite honestly. And if you're into outdoor activities bushwalking, mountain biking, things like that, all of that's within minutes of wherever you happen to be staying in Canberra.
Awesome.
So it's a bit of a hidden gem, I think. People think of it as being a very sort of bureaucratic and political sort of town. And it's well, sort of. The politicians aren't ours. Politicians get sent there. We've got 5. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of, I guess, the stability of public sector employment, I think that's part of what makes events like Essence possible.
Yeah.
It just means that, people have a little bit of time and a little bit of money to throw around, not ostentatiously, but they're just able to attend events like this and buy merch and enjoy themselves, buy a drink or two. And so I think it's a good place to hold an event like Essence for that reason.
Sweet.
Yeah, good first reason to head to Canberra.
For sure.
Yeah, for those that have never visited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can easily spend a couple of days in the National Gallery. It's just awesome. Yeah. I'd be out galleried by that point, but it's certainly physically possible.
This has almost become travel guides episode for Canberra.
Like a getaway.
Galleries in the welcome to Hook Riff and Banger Getaways episode. This is Canberra. It sounds great. I'm in. It's not this year, but I'll be there next year.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, for me, it has to be part of the sell, because people are but it's in Canberra, and it's well, yeah, but it's a love letter to Canberra. I love living there, and I think you should come and check it out as well. And like, if you don't know where to go to get like amazing food or an amazing drink, ask me. I'll tell you.
During the festival.
During the festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Make you busier than you already are. I like it. I would really love to know, it's a quick fire question as it's written, but we did prep you. We would love to know some bands that you're really excited about right now that we should know about.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'm glad you're not limiting me to a certain number of bands, because I would breach that number, whatever it happened to be. Yeah, N+1 is the number of bands that I'm
As soon as all the batteries run out in the microphones, that's as long as you've got.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know where to start. So, Alters had the very great pleasure of touring with Ulcerate in North America in November 2023. And I think one of the things that I really admire about Ulcerate, as well as their musicianship, which is just extraordinary. Like as a drummer, I really think that Jamie is hands down one of the most important extreme metal drummers in history. And if anything, I think he's still a little bit sort of under-recognised and underrated.
I'd agree, yeah.
He's immediately recognisable and so adept. But it blows me away that a band that's 20 years into their career, or more than 20 years, like I got that first Coming of Genocide EP or CD demo or whatever it was in 2004, I think. Now it's 2026, or maybe they released their last album last year or something like that. And it just leaves me dumbfounded that a band 20 years into their career that was already that good, like from day one, is just now hitting their stride and just now opening up their sonic palette into these wild new areas of like melody and dissonance and emotion. They're just a more emotionally nuanced band than they have ever been. And I can't say enough good stuff about their last two albums, which is not to take anything away from the discography before that. Really excited to continue to watch their trajectory.
Yeah.
Long may they reign.
It's hard to imagine what their next release is going to be, because Cutting the Throat of God was just huge. And the last two releases, as you said, everything. But yeah, I can't imagine where it's going to go next. Like,
yeah. And they haven't like traded in any of the aggression or anything like that, but they've just kind of like, I think I heard Jamie talking on a podcast about, just sort of the penny drop moment when they did Everything Is Fire. And they were like, okay, this is it, compositionally. And I feel like they've had their second penny drop moment.
Yeah. And
there are so many bands that never even get one, let alone two.
Yeah.
So good for them. We also spent some time on the road on our other US tour with Artificial Brain. They're another death metal band that builds worlds, and I think that's... I'll pin my flag to the mast and say I'm more of a black metal guy than a death metal guy, and part of the reason for that is because of like that wide, that ability to build worlds, like just paint with different emotional colours that I think death metal doesn't always encourage or allow to the same extent. I say this as someone with, plenty of Cannibal Corpse albums in my collection, But what I like about Artificial Brain, like Ulcerate, is that they really create a world, like they take you somewhere else to this kind of like sci-fi dimension, and it's not nerdy. They don't do it with effects or something like that. It's just the way they compose is just. It's a different way of conceptualizing music, and they're all lovely guys as well, and we really enjoyed our time on the road with them. Their bass player in particular, Sam, is also involved in some other interesting projects. I don't know if I'm getting the pronunciation right, but Aviturney, something like that. Anyway, if you go to Metal Archives, search for Artificial Brain and then click on Sam's name, it's a continuation of Flourishing, which was a really interesting New York, sort of like dissonant death metal, but also hardcore, but also grindcore sort of band that I was really enjoying in the 2000s. And I kind of thought had just kind of evaporated, but they've come back with a new lineup and a new name doing.
I can't imagine how it would feel to listen to them for so long and then be able to tour with these people that you admire and respect.
Yeah. It's, there's that thing about like, don't meet your heroes, but like sometimes your heroes are pretty cool. Like we had a lovely time with Ulcerate. Like they're just, they're incredibly disciplined and they know each other incredibly well, and like they kind of seem to communicate telepathically. But at the same time, they like really, they let us in. Yeah, it was lovely.
It's generally a pretty good scene. There's good people, a lot of good people in it. So I'm not surprised to hear.
Yeah. You probably want some ones closer to home, I should say, rather. So I really like sort of death industrial and dark ambient sort of stuff. I would say a particular highlight is Death Appeal down here. So that's Lockie from Contaminated, guitarist in Contaminated, and I think sort of one of the key songwriters in that band, as far as I understand. But he also has this side project as well, which I don't think has guitar in it at all. And it's just like really bad vibes, atmospheres. I don't really know why I'm attracted to that music, but I think it kind of feels like, in a way, again, I love metal, but you kind of know that there's going to be certain elements that you're going to get with a metal band. Like there's going to be a loud distorted guitar, and there's going to be drums that are probably, quite well played, maybe fast, things like that. It's quite like, it is a rock idiom, ultimately, at the end of the day. And what I like about a band like Death Appeal, or for that matter, Sulphur Garden, is that you have no fucking idea what you're going to get. Like, it's just, the space is wide open for how the composition could take place, what direction it could go in. All you know is that you're going to have a bad time. And I think, like, if you grew up as a metalhead kind of looking for the next thing that would make the hair on the back of your neck stick up, and I think probably like a lot of us can relate to that as we kind of got through, like, moved through heavier and heavier bands looking for that same fix. I think at a certain point, like, the return on those, let's say, stereotypical elements of metal starts to wind back a little bit. And that's when the experimental and improvised and like cold meat industry bands and stuff like that comes in. So, so really into them. I guess So Discord for the same reason. So yeah, that's Dave from Whitehorse. He played a stellar set at Essence 2024. Bacchus Harsh. So yeah, I mean, I could just keep listing these
any of your lineups, honestly.
Yeah. Blood of a pomegranate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. The list goes on really in terms of that scene and that sound. I mean, well, many sounds, but yeah, just that kind of wide open scariness. I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really excited, of course. This isn't just a plug for Essence. I am genuinely excited that the Amenta has moved back into the classic lineup and the classic material, because I've liked everything that they've done. But when Acasis dropped in 2004, I think it was 2004, that was like a fucking atom bomb. Like I'd heard Mictlan, the mini CD that came before that, and it was like, oh, okay, well, like I was a Sydney guy, so I knew those guys. Yeah. They were a couple of years older than me, but like, yeah, they had a kind of a symphonic black metal band called Crucible of Agony, and then Crucible of Agony went quiet, and then Mictlan came out, and it's like, oh, okay, right. Mm-hmm. Nobody else in Australia was doing that kind of like industrial death black metal thing. This is pretty good. And then Acasis came out, and it's like, holy shit, like they're just, 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I put it on the car the other day, and it still sounds like it was recorded tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like it's just the level
they could
of,
release that now and be like, oh, this is new and fresh. And
absolutely.
Oh my
God. Yeah. Just the level of vision and professionalism.
Mm.
Yeah. Like sometimes professionalism is code for sterile, and it's not sterile. Like it hits you right in the gut. And professionalism in the sense of having a fully realized vision.
Yeah.
And so I'm so proud and excited that they're going to be headlining Essence this year.
Huge. Yeah.
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 I'm going to give you one more, which isn't an Australian one, but another artist that needs more love. I mean, they get some love, but I don't think they get... No, I'm going to give you two more artists.
You can keep going.
Yeah. It's just like maybe my battery will die eventually. Yeah. So when we were on tour in the US, we played a show in Minneapolis, St. Paul, so Minnesota, and we played with a band there called Aberration, which shares some members with Suffering Hour, and I think Suffering Hour are a bit better known. But Aberration almost are an Australian band, despite the fact that they're from like the Midwest, in that they combine like dissonant death metal with that kind of like really aggro, like eye-poppingly aggressive war metal thing that I think Australia and New Zealand do really well, and kind of carved out that sound to some extent. And I just couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing, really. And I'm shocked that they're not better known and loved in Australia. Do check out Aberration.
Yeah. I don't know them at all, so I'm very excited. I'm excited to, finish today, go to the gig, then go home and check out all these recommendations.
Yeah. So that's one of them. The other one is Mitochondrion from Vancouver. I don't know if they're all in Vancouver now. I don't know. But anyway, definitely that sort of Canadian scene really influenced my thinking and my taste in terms of making something that's like highbrow but still gnarly. And I think another one in that vein was Axis of Advance, but Mitochondrion is still going. And again, lovely guys. We've met them. They do a bunch of bands, so we've met them on the road in some of their other configurations. I've never actually got to see Mitochondrion live, but they released an album a couple of years ago that's actually a double LP, and I don't think I'm ever... I think it's just beyond my ken. It sounds like two deicide albums being played at the same time. But then there's also like a cold meat industry thing like MZ412 or something in the background as well. It's just like this DNA of dark evil underneath all the clattering, insane death metal. Again, this just fully realized vision, like it's music that takes you somewhere else. So yeah, that's a really challenging album, that newest one. And I think it was challenging for them as well. Like I think they just got lost in making it. Basically, it took them, I think they said 17 years to make something like that.
Jeez.
Just a real like labor of love and perseverance. But the one of theirs that just like still has me by the balls is their second album, Parasignosis, which I guess was released 17 years ago or a bit more than that. And Parasignosis, again, just combines that sort of dark death metal with like black ambient or ritual ambient, and just kind of the overlay of those two things is something that I'm surprised is not done more often because it's such an effective combination. Yeah.
Very cool. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love walking away with recommendations.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
But also talking about so many bands and artists from all over the place that we know and love as well. See, I'm trusting your recommendations because you like so many of the things that I like. Which is great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's folks at home won't be able to see all of the people here in the room with us, but there's just like a room of great band shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sulphur Garden, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had Sulphur Garden play last year at Essence. I guess I should also probably mention some Canberra bands as well. So like Pod People have started playing again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wouldn't say that that's my favourite style, but they're so good at it. And they're just really entertaining. They're entertainers and they're great songwriters. And yeah, like I just walk away from their shows with like just this sort of shit-eating grin on my face. And they've also been huge supporters of the festival as well. So I'm very grateful to them and I'm glad that they're playing live again. And their newest album is a blinder as well, if you're into kind of like the stoner metal, stoner doom sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Awesome. We do ask a question, and it's not common that we get somebody who's organised a festival already. But we do like to ask, I guess, Dream Festival. So obviously that's a very different situation.
Yeah. You have the logistical background in this.
Yeah.
So throw that away for a second.
Throw that away.
Yeah.
Most ridiculous sort of dream gig that you could hold. Who are the artists? What kind of environment? And it could be, very abstract, very strange.
Yeah.
Have you ever put any thought into something as silly as that?
If it helps, some previous answers that we've had include, was it Yob playing in a quarry? We've
had a quarry.
Yeah, we had a quarry.
Maybe a cruise ship or something.
Yeah.
Shopping mall.
What the fuck is up, Danny's inspiration? What's your dream venue, unconventional, and then who's playing that lineup?
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to actually find this one too hard.
Oh.
There's this modern cathedral in Reykjavik in Iceland. It kind of it sort of looks like a Star Destroyer on its side.
Okay.
Or pointing up in the sky.
Yeah.
It's quite a spectacular piece of architecture, and I would some years ago, I guess it must have been about 2007 or something like that, I got to see The Cure at the Opera House, and they just no supports. They just came on stage, just played for 3 hours, stuff you love, deep cuts, everything. And I would love to put, well, this is especially the case because I think The Cure's latest album is the best thing they've done since the 80s. I would love to grab the cure and put them in that Icelandic cathedral and have them play for 3 hours. And I mean, obviously aberration and mitochondrion as supports. Fittingly.
Yep.
There we are. There's the lineup. That's
We're
good.
there. That's incredible. That was a very
Hell yeah.
considered answer because you knew where you
Fair
wanted
enough.
to
Yeah,
go.
that's good. Wow. Very cool.
Amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. And it could happen too because you've
true.
got the expertise behind you. Just get the cure on the phone.
Well, you know, it's interesting because like the BASO where Essence is held, we had Triumph of Death there recently. So like, you know, Hellhammer, basically. I kind of thought that like, you know, I was a couple of meters away from a band fronted by a guy who basically established extreme metal. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, he wasn't the only one, but in terms of just like setting a template for black metal and death metal and extending what thrash was capable of, and also like crossing over like new wave and gothic influences into extreme metal, like Tom Warrior was the guy, right? Like a legend in his own lifetime. And he's there like just in, you know, in between the car dealerships of Canberra. And so I kind of figure like, if fucking Tom Warrior can come to the BASO, why not Robert Smith?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's before the cathedral in Iceland. It's
Yeah.
the BASO.
World tour, 2 dates.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so surreal.
I
That's
love
cool.
it. We'll be there. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Before we wrap it up, I would love to know, and I guess this is just to anyone that listens to this that is a new and upcoming artist or band, what is something that you look for in a band or artist performer when you are booking a festival like this?
It's a great question because I think, you know, I was talking about playing music quite intuitively. I think I also curate quite intuitively as well. But when I look at the bill and kind of analyze what's on it and sort of reverse engineer how I got there, I think like partly it's those heavy hitters who've been around a while. Partly it's bands that are doing interesting stuff, have their own voice, and otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to play in Canberra. And I think like Halo of Teeth and Fuck's Sake are coming from Western Australia and Northern Territory respectively. So I really respect that they're taking the risk and making the effort. So I'm putting them right up the top of the bill.
Yep. Great band.
As well. And yeah, so I think having an individual vision and following through, like not being afraid to have your own voice. Because a lot of people will tell you that what you're doing doesn't fit within some sort of established set of guidelines or rules about how your genre should be played or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the bands that do fit in within those guidelines or rules, they get forgotten about. The bands that last and the bands that people remember the legacy of and that people cite as influences, they're the bands that wrote their own book on how to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Trust your instincts, but also be skeptical of your instincts. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that answer.
Yeah. I feel like we could talk all afternoon and it's been, there's a lot that we've spoken about and weirdly inspirational. I don't mean that in a ass-kissy way, but it's just like you've done heaps, you're involved so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're definitely putting Canberra on the map in a different way. And Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. Like,
Thanks. And you know, like I'm inspired as well, partly by what you guys are doing, but I should also say, like, what I'm doing is not new. Like the Metal for the Brain guys, they did this, 20, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were coming from a really good place as well, because they were trying to help out a mate who had an acquired brain injury. And out of that came probably, I think, the best metal festival that Australia has ever had.
Mhm.
And I think, but for that lineage, Essence wouldn't exist. So, it's real shoulders of giants sort of stuff. And I think that something that we all have in common, what you guys are doing, what I'm trying to do with Essence, the Metal for the Brain guys, anyone who's put on a local show, or started a band or written a song, is it contributes to this snowballing effect of you can do it too. You can act and co-create the city you want to live in or the art scene you want to be part of. So, yeah.
It's all part of an ecosystem, right? And
Yeah,
some,
exactly.
really good collaborators and forces, I guess.
Yeah.
Without more bands coming out and more people going to shows and more festivals happening, and without, the sad closure of venues, but thankfully somehow comes the opening of new venues, and, it's that ecosystem, like you said. It's got to keep happening.
Yeah. And the other person who inspires me in that respect is Brendan, who you guys have had on the show, my bandmate in Alters, who also heads up Convulsing as well, because I think he's just so encouraging of new art, and that I think getting to know Brendan better over the past few years and being in a band with him and being on tour with him has probably made me more open to possibility and less cynical about possibility. And like to give him a shout out as well.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Something that he said actually when we spoke to him was just make the thing, just do the thing, just get the thing out there. And it sounds so simple to just say it, but sometimes you do just need a kick up the arse to be just get it out there. Do it. Do the thing.
Yeah. Well, I should take his advice regarding Liquid and that EP.
Yeah. Just do the thing. Just picture him saying it.
Just
Come on. No.
Yeah.
No, awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. It's been awesome, Dan.
Oh,
Really
thank you. Yeah, no, it really has been. Thank you for the insightful questions and the discursive conversations. And I feel completely overindulged, but also very grateful.
Yeah.
And where can people connect with the festival, with your bands and projects? Where are the best places for us to connect?
Yeah, so the festival has an Instagram at essence_festival, also has an official website. As we speak, we've only soft launched that website, so it's out there, but it's also still being worked on. But maybe by the time folks hear this, it'll be fully updated. Fully operational battle station. That's Essence Festival, no spaces or anything, just essencefestival.com.au. And in terms of connecting with me, most of my bands have an Instagram presence. I think all of them have a Bandcamp presence.
We'll link them all. It'll be a long list of...
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I'm a bit of an asshole about this stuff because, I know that, Instagram is how people connect with bands and stuff like that. And there's almost a little bit of a... It's not even self-sabotage. It's just deliberate obscurantism that makes me think like, no, I'm not going to put up a Bleakwood Instagram. Like, if you want to know about it, you can find out about it some other way. Same with Bruxist. I'm sure Bruxist will need an need an Instagram at some point, but we're getting away without it so far.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, Alta certainly has an Instagram. That's not something I'm involved with, but Lewis runs it really well.
Is that an Alta's jumper that you have sitting over there?
Yeah,
Is that the new one? Yeah.
Whip it out.
There you go. They're so sick.
Yeah.
So as people who tune into this podcast know, Lewis runs Black Sound Records on Sydney Road in Brunswick. Again, doing an amazing job of building that ecosystem as well, and like literally staking his life savings and his livelihood on that. Like
an incredible place too. Like,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, just an incredibly brave thing to do, and I think in a funny sort of way for him, like a necessary thing for him to do. Like it was just in him, and it needed to come out. And I think that's just like, there's an authenticity there. So yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, in terms of that's such an unfair question. Where can we find your stuff? I don't know. Like just
track you down on the streets.
Yeah.
Can you tell your location with
live
location? We'll air tag you or something.
Yeah. Oh, you can find me on.
If you want to find it, you'll find it.
Yeah. It's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously, like if you just kind of like connect with the Essence Instagram and then say, hey Dan, can I have a Bleakwood LP? I'll sort you out.
Old school.
There you go. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Cheers, Dan.
Thanks so much. Yeah, really appreciate it. Cheers.